What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the first ever. Nice, Justin. Welcome to the first ever Hilton Head Sharks Central Show. What this is the coaches' show for our very own semi-pro football team here in the area, the Hilton Head Sharks. So I am joined by our coaches, Daryl Mitchell and Ronnie Kulbach. Fellas, you guys had a great weekend, I hear. I'm great to get you guys back here on the Loco Media Network, and great to be doing this show. We've been talking about this for a few months now, so I'm glad we're able to do the first one. How y'all doing?
We're doing good, man. Good.
Good as we could be doing.
Yeah.
So, talk with us. Well, talk with us how the game went. Give us a rundown of how it went for y'all.
Okay. I'll let the head coach speak.
Well, it started out not as good as it could be. We got ourselves in a hole pretty early in the first half, but our guys never gave up. We quit looking at the scoreboard and we just started playing football. And before you know it, it was a tie game with 16 seconds left, and we had an opportunity to win it with a extra point, but snap got a little messed up, and we ended up going to overtime. And after two possessions, right? We had two possessions. Ended up getting a safety in the end zone, and that's how we ended up losing. So,
oh man,
yeah,
that's
kind of like a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, that's a heck of a game for you guys to start off the season. Not the way you want it to go, but I have a feeling that that game showed you guys that this season's going to be something special for y'all.
Yeah, we took a lot more positive from it than negative. They say you learn more from a loss than a win. I like to win, and I think you can learn a lot from wins also, but I think we came away with a loss, but with a better aspect and prospect of where we're at, I think. I think we showed that we have some fight. We're not going to lay down.
Yeah, I look forward to getting out to some of y'all's games this year. And I'm excited. It's funny that there's not enough people in this area who know that, hey, we have a semi-pro football team in this area that play during the spring. And I'm very excited to be a part of this show and getting to do this show with you guys. So talk with me about any key players from y'all's game this past weekend.
Well, we had a few guys. The thing about this year is that we turned over the roster over 90%. So we got a lot of new guys. Wow. We started a new quarterback this game, and that's who I want to highlight, Javon Walker. We went into the game with an open QB competition. It was him and Myron, and we wanted to give both of the guys an opportunity to see who would seize the reins, and Javon did that. He played a hell of a game. He would have probably been offensive MVP if we didn't have another new player. His cousin that plays a slot receiver. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 touchdown, probably 150. He had a couple nice catches. Yeah, he had a huge game. So he would have been our offensive MVP. It was good. It was good. You could tell those guys had a connection. You could tell it were family. They say, hey, we've been playing together since we were 6 years old. And probably within the first 2 drives, they hit a big corner route. And then they led that comeback. They just made play after play. So those were definitely the standouts on offense.
Yeah, and you guys get down early. You basically, what did you have to tell your team when y'all got down early in the game? What did you have to tell them when it came to let's see if we can score and try to get back in this ball game? What did y'all have to tell them at that point in the game?
Pretty much, we just try to minimize the game as much as possible at that point. Instead of thinking about we got to score 3 touchdowns or 1 touchdown even, it was just, hey, let's get a stop. Let's get a turnover maybe on defense, something to get the momentum going. And then once we got on offense, that the drive where we actually drove down to score to get the run going. It wasn't even about scoring. It was just about let's get a first down. Let's get a good chunk play. Let's just get – because we felt like we were starting to get the best of them conditioning-wise. We just kind of had to get back to, what was going to work and then keep going back to it. And once we did that and we got the rhythm going, then we got more momentum. And it was basically just keep fighting. Just don't look at the scoreboard. We got to keep trying to figure out ways, just different ways to get momentum going. We ended up, after we scored the first touchdown, we had a huge onside kick that just boosted the momentum even more. I mean, it was probably the cleanest onside kick I've seen 10 years of coaching, probably 20 years altogether that I've been around football.
Yeah.
One of the most beautiful, and everything just worked out. It's really great because you say those things all the time, right? When you're down 20-0, it's kind of always the same. You revert back to the same like go-to sayings, but when it actually starts working and you see it paying off and you see the team starting to elevate and get energy back in, man, it was a spectacle. It was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, we talk about the offense being able to put up points, get back into the game. Let's talk about the defense, because for the offense to be able to score and get back in the game, the defense had to put up some numbers as well. So let's talk about that defense being able to make stops and be able to pull off a comeback and have it tied going into the late stages of the game.
That was the one thing we figured out pretty early in the game, that we were able to hold them on offense. We had their scoring drives came off a short yardage, shorter fields, and like a chunk play or two. So we knew that if we could make them have to work to get in the end zone and make them have to drive the field, we could get mistakes. They ended up, unfortunately, having to use their backup quarterback a little bit more in the second half. He wasn't as good at throwing the ball as the other guy was. He could run pretty good, but they still kept trying to throw the ball, and we just kept capitalizing. It was just guys making plays, getting pressure when we needed to. They tried to go to the run game, but we pretty much slowed it down at that point. We had a couple big turnovers throughout the game, especially on the comeback. They're showing the interception right there. That was we were down by a score at that point, right? I think we were down by 6 points. We haven't got to see the whole game yet, the whole game film, just highlights. So, but I'm pretty sure that we were down by a score at that point. So that interception came at a key point. And as a defensive unit, we knew what was working, and we knew that if we kept tweaking who was where and adjusting, that we could keep ourselves in the game on a defensive standpoint. And it worked out. The offense got momentum. And then like the whole, 2 minutes in the third quarter, basically to the start of overtime, we really had total control. So at that point, the defense was basically just keeping the momentum going. They'd have chances. They drove down into the red zone still twice in the fourth quarter, and we got big fourth down stops. I mean, we were really just keeping everything in front of us and just trying our best to keep guys fresh, And good thing we did. I mean, we didn't come out with the win in the overtime period, but we had guys that were still standing. So that was a good sign.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see in a football team. That's what you want to see as a coach. You want to see that you're making progress with these players. You're able to make and adjust game plans midway through the game. Like that's something you want to see as you head into what the rest of the season is. And it's only game one. You guys have a whole schedule ahead of you. So very very excited. Very excited to get some spring semi-pro football started off, and you guys have a game on Saturday. I believe y'all are at home for this one.
Yep.
You're taking on the Carolina Wolves.
Yep, we're at home. Home opener. Very excited about it. We'll be playing at Hilton Head High School. It's going to be an earlier kickoff for us, kicking off at 4:30. And we're excited. It's just after losing a close game like this, the good thing about it is you get another game coming up, and we're looking forward to an opportunity to kind of correct the mistakes and right that wrong. So the guys are excited. We're going to get to work. We're going to have a good week of practice, and I'm confident that we're going to have a stellar showing on Saturday.
Yeah, and what we have up here is the Hilton Head Sharks website. You guys, for those of you watching, can always check out the website to see when they're playing, at what time, and where they're playing at. So definitely go and check out the website. A lot of cool things on there, including,
Okay. Well, and while we're here, I want to mention on Friday, we're actually having a kickoff event for the fans. We're going to have it at 10 and Tallow restaurant on Hilton Head on the north end. And it's just an opportunity for fans of all ages to come out, meet the players. You can get autographs. We'll have some giveaways. We just want to generate some local excitement for Saturday. So it's kind of like our pep rally. So we're looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, that's definitely fun. So again, on Friday, this coming Friday, at Teller Restaurant on Hilton Head. What time will that be, fellas?
It started at 6:30.
6:30. Okay. So for those of you who want to go and meet the players and see who is part of this Hilton Head Sharks team, please feel free to go out to Teller Restaurant and go check it out. That's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, like you said, kind of like a pep rally-ish kind of move. So great first game for you guys. A lot of encouragement, a lot of positives to take away from the first game. And so I'm very excited to see how the rest of this season goes for you guys. For sure, are going to be picking up a couple wins. And the great part is you guys are in a new league this year, which is something that I've been meaning to ask. How do you guys feel going into a new league with basically, like you said, Coach, a 90% overturn, a brand new team, basically, for you guys? Like, tell me, going into a new league with a new kind of looking team, what's the effort and the determination you guys had to put into this team to get them ready for a new league that you don't really know how your season's going to go and what kind of teams you're going to be playing?
Yeah, we're excited. We had been playing independent for at least 8 years.
Right.
I always would tell people we're like the Notre Dame of semi-pro. And we were not going to join a league unless we felt like it was the right opportunity. And this was just the perfect opportunity. All South Carolina league. We just like the format, the setup, and just to be a part of something new. We just could not turn it down. So we're super excited. We're super excited how things set up. We feel like we mesh well with all the teams in the league, and it's wide open. Anybody can win. We feel confident about our chances to win a championship this year, and that's just got everybody excited.
Yeah, so new league, new looking team. So a lot to look forward to for you guys. We do have a guest in the room, in the green room right now. Good friend, has been a member of Sharks, I think, for you guys for quite a few seasons now.
Chad's an OG. He was there in the beginning. You could say he was our first signee.
Yeah, Chad Malfris joins the room. Chad, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, feeling good. A little sore, but I'm alive.
Chad, talk to me. A new looking team for you this year as a player. Tell me what. As a player, I mean, how exciting was that game?
Awesome, amazing. From start to finish, it was good. Like they were saying, coming off, it started slow. But the thing about these guys, they stayed consistent and picked it up when it needed to be. A lot of the times in semi-pro games, especially, a team gets a lead in the beginning and guys fall apart. The team falls apart. They turn on each other. You didn't see that with the Sharks. Everybody was in it. They were in it to win it. They were in the long haul, which is great because a lot of these guys are young, fresh out of high school. The age range that happens on this team is guys that just turned 18, fresh out of high school, to Steve, one of the linemen we have. I can't even tell you how old he is, but me and him both hopping off the field after the game. And they're all there to work together because I feel like they're doing it for each other, and that's good to say. Like I was talking to them after the game was, this Sharks team is the best Sharks team I've ever seen. Mentally, the maturity of this team is outstanding.
And that's a good sign to see, especially, and when you go into a new league and you have a team that, like you said, has, in terms of mental capacity, as well as, just the determination. I mean, that's going to go a long way for you guys this season, and it will give you guys a great looking season moving forward. So, talk to me. You keep coming back and playing for the Sharks. Why?
I will always play for the Sharks. That is my home. I've known in 2012 they gave me the opportunity to play football again. That was the main thing, and that's like I told them during pregame. Semi-pro to me is second chances. You got out of high school, you didn't get picked up, you did something stupid where you couldn't go and play somewhere else, and you're overlooked or blah 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 blah. It's a place you can come to get better, and almost like a redemption place for a lot of guys. Hanging out with the wrong crowd, blah 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 blah, and you just get away from that stuff, and that's the best part about it. And if it wasn't for the Sharks, I wouldn't have been able to do what I did. So I'll always be grateful for them. They're the first ones to get me filmed. They're the first ones to put me in a place where I can work with other people. And I was talking about how I played high school football and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't in my heart. I didn't really start caring about football until I started playing semi-pro. And that's when it really started to be a fire in my heart about sports and what it really meant to be a part of a team and an organization that was working to do something bigger, you know? So I'll always come back and play for the Sharks, and one day I'll be the guy in the press box with the headset, hopefully,
Right.
When they finally have to wheel me, when they have to finally wheel me onto the field, that's where I'll be.
Daryl, Ronnie, I mean, talk about Chad. How big of a leader is he for this team as y'all's season continues? How great is he to have him there for you guys for so many seasons now, and to continue doing the work that he's doing for this team?
Well, Chad is just a prime example of what this is about. When me and my brother started this team, it was about giving guys an opportunity, and we wanted to help guys if they had aspirations to reach a level beyond this. That's what we did it for. And Chad, he just took full advantage of it, and he's kind of that symbol. And having him back is just great because he's somebody that guys can look at and be like, hey man, I can do this. Chad can say I was right where you guys were, and I took it to the highest of levels, man. So just having them there, I mean, I can't put a figure on it, a dollar amount. I mean, nothing is just invaluable having him a part of the club, and just his leadership and just the example that he sets for the guys, man. It's just great.
Yeah, and you guys talk about second chances, and it's great to see a program like you guys doing that. And I wish there was so much more to offer in this area when it comes to stuff like that, because I think it's important for a lot of people. And I think not only because you guys wouldn't know, but I'm coaching high school baseball this season for Hardyville High School, which is a 1A school, very small school. And a school that has a lot of kids that grow up in less less fortunate areas, and so a lot of these kids that I'm coaching it really is kind of like a second chance to them, something for them to get out of school, which most of these kids are not fond of. So I understand what y'all talk about when it comes to second chances. I've seen it with my own eyes this spring, and I totally understand where you're all going with it. And I think it's great to know that we have a semi-pro football team that gives kids second chances to be better than they currently are, to strive to be better than they are, and I think that's important. And I'm sure, Chad, you could talk about that all day long.
I was about to say, I'll piggyback off of that. I mean, I'm a country boy from Okatee, South Carolina. You ask anybody where Okatee is, and they have no idea.
No idea. Yeah.
They just don't understand how somebody can do what I did. Because of the Hilton Head Sharks, I was able to go play in Brazil. I was able to go play in Poland. I was able to go play in Australia. Places that I never thought about being. The farthest I had ever lived before there was Columbia, South Carolina.
Right.
So places that I had never dreamed of going, football gave me that opportunity. And when you tell these young guys that have never thought about it, and all they ever see is Division One. That's all they ever see. If they don't make a Division One, well, I'm not doing it. Oh, buddy, there's a million other opportunities out there. There's so many different things that you can do to be successful in football that you can one day hang your helmet on and be like, I'm proud of that. And then another day, your semi-pro team tells you, hey, come coach, and then they trick you into playing the first quarter, and now you're playing the rest of the season because I put the team on my back.
Yeah, it's cool to see kids and get these opportunities. It's great to see, and I think it's something that myself and Justin Jarrett, who's sitting in our green room right now, making sure our show goes as smoothly as possible. We thank you for that, Justin. Something that we continue to do with our One Loco Foundation is try to give kids a second chance, help them improve, and find ways to be excited about something, and it's something that I feel like a lot of kids struggle with these days. And so to see this is really great. But Chad, let's talk about the game from Saturday.
Okay.
You guys were down the hole in the early parts of the game. Talk with me as a leader. I mean, what did you have to tell your teammates when you guys were as far down as you were to be able to come back by the football
and
game?
honestly, you would think it would be some rallying cry or anything like that would get them together. I think everybody was just focused. I don't think it was some moment that flipped the switch. I think it was just the first game mental mindset from this isn't practice anymore. We're not at practice. Right. We don't have time to talk about what we're doing here, what we're doing there. It's we're here. We're at the show. The lights are on, cameras live. Let's go. And I think that was just the shell shock of the moment, when things start to matter. And I think from this game on, it's nothing but up. It's going to keep rising. Right. Everybody, when they made a mistake, they didn't get down on themselves. We talked about it. We addressed the situation. We moved forward. The attitudes were great. I don't think we really had any kind of attitude issues that I saw, which you would expect in any sport. I mean, everybody was just in there like, okay, we're going to do better on the next one. And that's what you want to see in football. You get knocked down, you learn about it. We argue about it during film, but, well, not argue. We get yelled at during film, but you know what I mean? But that's part of football. And you'll learn from it, and you keep going from there. I think everybody was just driven to get there. Everybody kind of had their head pitched down, but not down and out. And that's the best way to describe it. And me working with the offensive line, I've always been a team guy. I mean, being an offensive lineman, you have to be. You don't score touchdowns. You don't get your name in the paper, stuff like that. That just doesn't happen unless you mess up. But with these guys, they all have that mindset of, I'm going to do it for you if you're going to do it for me, Right. And that's what I find.
Playing as one unit.
Absolutely. And that's always the thing. We're always going to be looking for guys that play offensive line, D-line. That'll always be a thing. So if anybody's interested, let us know, because I think right now we got a pretty solid line, but big boys get tired.
Yeah, we definitely need more linemen.
They do.
Yeah. Big boys get tired, but that's the thing about it is we're helping each other, and we do the thing. And we got one guy, Clyde, going both ways, and he's getting it done. But sometimes we got to let him breathe every once in a while. So I think we had 2 subs on offense for the game. So, and then we went into overtime. Boy, I tell you, I called Coach John over. I was like, I don't know what this is. It's cramping, but I need you to punch it till it stops.
Good game for you guys. It's there's stuff that obviously is going to need to be worked on. There's always something to be worked on, something to improve on. But in reality, I mean, for the first game of the season, that's a really good way to play a football game for you guys. Really good way to fight a football game. And get back into the ball game and tie it up in the late stages. And that's something you want to see in a football team, especially in the first game of the season. So I really am. I'm very intrigued. I'm very excited for y'all's next game, of course, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I have been asked, Chad, to talk about your football journey, and talk with us as your football journey. Starting with the Sharks and now coming back to the Sharks. Talk with me about that.
Yeah, I'll sum it up a little bit. So I joined the Sharks in 2012. Brand new team. Didn't know nothing about semi-pro. I had been out of high school for can't even tell you how long, but I was just sitting around working, and I just wanted to do something. I was bored. Back in the day, even before Bluffton became what it is, there was just nothing to do around here. You hung out, you went to work, or you went to the beach. So I was like, fine, I'll go play. And it was great experience to hang out with them and get to know them. And I had some of the best teammates in the world, Trash Can 1 and 2. And that's where I stood behind for the first week or so of practice. 2 water barrels. Those are my teammates. And day by day, another guy would come and another guy would come. And then we eventually got a team together. And I mean, it was great, man. And we did that for a while. We played ball for a while. And then I got an opportunity to play arena football in Savannah for a little bit.
Okay.
And that got me when they had the Savannah Steam, and that got me going. And then we ended up getting picked up from a team in Brazil, Salvador, Brazil. At the time, we're called Vitória Football Americano. I played for them for a season, and then from there, oh my God, it's like having to remember everything from the past. I ended up going to Australia, and I played there for 2 teams for Western Crusaders, Victoria, Australia, and then I played for South Adelaide University in Southern Australia, won the championships with both of them. And then I was just not done playing football, so then I shipped over to Poland and worked with the Olsztyn Lakers for a while, and then came home. Time to take a break, see the families, make sure America was okay. And COVID happened, as we all know, and kind of derailed international travel, And, I was pretty much done with football. I ended up playing with Team USA for a while, and we got to sneak into Costa Rica. Don't tell anybody. This is between us, and don't post on the internet or nothing. And went to Costa Rica and actually got to play against Mexico at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. And that was awesome. That was a great experience being with, the cream of the crop is what it was at the time, and that was awesome. And then I'd pretty much hung up my cleats and said I was done, took a hiatus, and then football and sports in general, once it gets in your heart, it's a part of it, man. You can't get away from
it. It is. Yeah. And you came back and you returned to the Sharks, and that's a cool that is a journey not many people get to do, is travel around the world playing football.
Absolutely,
not many people get to do that, and it's a cool journey. We're gonna need to talk more about your Australia journey.
Absolutely, we'll talk about it and we'll get in there.
Because my dad played rugby for New Zealand and team
in
in Australia,
awesome.
So I'm sure he can relate to you on terms of traveling around the world. And
tried to get me into rugby, but that's not.
It's a totally different sport, man. It's something else.
I'm gonna offend some of my friends, but what is it? Red Rover adult style is the way I explain it to people. The best way to describe rugby to Americans. It's wild. I'll say that.
It's nuts. It's a totally different sport. I mean, we actually have a rugby team on Hilton Head too, so it's fun to fun to know that we do. We get to see professional, semi-professional players here on Hilton Head, both football and rugby. But it's an incredible journey. I'm very excited to see you guys. I'm hoping if my baseball game on Saturday gets done at a certain time, I can get out there and see some of the game for you guys on Saturday, which of course again taking on the Carolina Wolves. Let's talk about the upcoming game for you guys. Do you guys have any insight on what this team looks like that you guys will be going up against on Saturday?
No, I don't know a thing about them. They're a brand new football team. So
pictures from the last game.
We know that they did not win their last game and they didn't score any touchdowns. So,
well, that's a positive, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna take that for what it's worth and try to build a good game plan. Hopefully, we can get some film this week. The one cool thing about this league is the filming of the games and the sharing of the games is in the league rules. So you do get film on your opponents. You're supposed to anyway.
Wow.
So hopefully we could get into that by tomorrow or Tuesday and then start getting a better idea of who we're playing. But it's kind of like we're starting off with two games with basically no film from any recent film. So
that's difficult, but to see how you guys played on Saturday, especially with that kind of situation, it's good to see. So, you start off the season 0-1, looking for your first win on Saturday. With how you guys are playing, I have a feeling your first win could come on Saturday, and I think you guys are ready to go for that this coming Saturday. And once you get that film, the game planning will start to begin for the coaches as well as the team leaders and stuff like that.
I'll say, it might not be an undefeated season, but I feel like it's going to be a championship one.
And we will. Chad, watch what you say, man, because we will quote you on that, man.
I know. Hey, I play to win. I'm sure these guys too.
Yeah.
But I mean, looking at
That's the
looking at
mindset.
you
That's
guys'
for sure the mindset.
yeah, I mean, looking at you guys' game from this past Saturday to see how you guys came back in that game, I wouldn't say no to the thought of to Chad's thought process of, hey, this could be a championship season. I'm not gonna fully say that,
Yeah.
hey, this is a championship season, but it definitely could be if you guys keep playing the way you are. So we're looking forward to that.
I think the mindset is there. I think the loyalty is there. I think the
mindset is there, yeah. If the mindset is there, the goal is definitely achievable.
Exactly.
And it's something we've been talking about too, is like, how we start can't be how we finish. Like,
right.
The finish is what matters. So as long as we get better every week going into the playoffs, then we'll be where we need to be in position to play for a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And we got to stay healthy too. A lot of times you see really good teams. Last year with the 49ers, real good team, some injuries, and they go 6-11. So we got really lucky to get out of last night with no injuries. And if we could keep that, if we could keep the team together to get to the end, I think we have a really great chance.
Only we can beat us. That's how I feel. Only we can beat us. We're our biggest enemy in this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Chad, it was great having you on the show with us. We're going to let you go, and we're going to wrap up the show. Chad,
see you
thank you
practice,
so much for joining us.
Yes,
we're definitely getting you back
on,
bro. We're getting you back on. For
absolutely. Good to talk to you guys, and I'll see you guys hopefully at the game.
All righty. Chad Malfris, appreciate him for joining us on the show. So let's wrap this thing up. Guys, final thoughts on how this past weekend went for you guys, and talk about some of the things you guys are going to need to work on as you get into your next game on Saturday.
Coach?
Well, final thoughts would be hopefully when we sit down next week at this time, we're talking about a win and not a loss. But
right.
I can't be too upset about it. Definitely lost a little sleep about it, but I'm optimistic that this game coming up, our guys are gonna have a chip on their shoulder, and we're gonna play like that. I hope. So I'm optimistic, and I look forward to doing this again next week. Hopefully, in a little even better spirits.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited to watch. Hopefully, be able to go and watch your guys' game on Saturday to see.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you or any fan, if you can't make it, we live stream all our games.
That's right, you do. I forgot about that.
We got a company, Score Sports, out of Atlanta. I mean, they do a great production, and they come down to all our games. So it'll be live on YouTube, on Facebook, on the website. So if you can't make the game in person, you can always view your Sharks live.
Well, I appreciate that. So for those of you who are listening, feel free, if you can't make the game, definitely watch it. I won't be able to watch it because I'll be coaching a baseball game, but I'm going to try to
hopefully you guys win.
I mentioned a 1A team. It's first year program, so work in progress. I'm sure you guys know what that's like. So we're very excited on the season weekend. We were supposed to start on Friday, but that is a whole nother thing that I'm not going to get into. But guys, it was great having you guys on for our first ever Hilton Head Sharks Central show. I'm very excited for the rest of the season. We're going to be doing this a lot more often because this was fun. It was a great night. Great weekend for you guys, despite the loss. A really encouraging weekend for you guys, and we look forward to seeing you guys get that first win. So that's going to do it for us here on the Hilton Head Sharks Central show. For Daryl Mitchell and Ronnie Kubog, I'm Max Arraj. And remember, go Loco.
Thank you. Bite down.
Bite down.
Bite down.